Chapter 1. The beginning of the zombie transformation. A piercing pain exploded at his temples, forcibly dragging Qi Xiang out of an endless void of chaos. He opened his eyes wide. The bright lights and the smell of disinfectant he anticipated in a hospital did not appear. Instead, he was greeted by a suffocating darkness and decay. Rubble and ruins filled his vision. The air was thick with dust, rot, and a faint, rusty metallic smell of blood, blending into an odd odor that invaded his nostrils. His stomach churned violently. Qi Xiang propped himself up against the intense pain in his head, slowly scanning his surroundings. This was an abandoned underground parking lot. The overhead lights flickered and buzzed, casting irregular, trembling patches of light on the stained concrete floor. Nearby, several cars were covered in thick dust, their matte paint marred by grotesque scratch marks. Qi Xiang furrowed his brow, shifting his gaze from those scratches back to himself. He looked down at his attire. He was wearing a finely tailored black hoodie made of a smooth, glossy fabric he had never seen before. This outfit felt utterly disconnected from his memory of being a corporate worker earning $3,000 a month. Even more bizarrely, the skin on his hands appeared pale and devoid of color, with sharp, elongated nails tinged with an unhealthy bluish white. Before he could think further, a wave of intense hunger surged from his abdomen, as if an invisible hand was gripping all his insides, tearing and grinding them. The hunger was so fierce it threatened to consume his sanity, and images filled his mind, uncontrollably bloody scenes alive with warmth and steam. "Hey, you there, looking like a crow in that ragged outfit." A crisp, impatient female voice came from behind a nearby support pillar. "Quit standing there like a target. If you want to die, pick a good spot and don't be in the way." Qi Xiang turned to look in the direction of the voice that a girl with short hair, dressed in a tight black combat suit, was leaning against the pillar, holding a uniquely shaped rifle, its barrel warily pointed into the darker depths of the parking lot. She was barely in her 20s, beautiful in appearance, but her eyes were sharp and fierce, like those of a hunting eagle. The combat suit hugged her toned body tightly, radiating an aura of efficiency and danger. Seeing Qi Xiang standing still, the girl frowned and scolded in a low voice. "What are you staring at? If you keep dazing off, those brain munchers will use your head as a walnut." "Brain munchers? What the hell is that? Is it some kind of slang?" Qi Xiang's mind was a jumble, and just as he was about to speak, a translucent blue screen suddenly popped up in front of him. "Zombie Evolution System ZES has been activated. Binding host. Binding successful. Name: Qi Xiang codename 57X. Race: Altered Zombie High-Level Variant Tingy Sequence. Level: 10100 EXP. Status: Extremely Hungry Sanity. Level SN: 65100, steadily decreasing. Warning: Sanity level below 70. Host at risk of losing control. Please replenish energy as soon as possible. Fresh brain matter is the best choice." A series of cold messages flooded into Qi Xiang's brain. Zombie? System? Fresh brain matter? He was utterly bewildered, instinctively raising his hand to touch the screen, but his fingers passed through it as if it were an illusion. "I have transmigrated into a zombie with a system? This plot is way too intense. More absurd than any web novel I've ever read. 57X. Are your ears stuffed with donkey hair?" The girl's voice was laced with visible anger. She stepped out from hiding, rushing to Qi Xiang's side and grabbing his arm. "If you don't want to die, stick close to me." Her grip was undeniable, surprisingly strong. In that moment, a mix of sweat and a faint scent of soap wafted into Qi Xiang's nostrils. This scent did not evoke any inappropriate thoughts. Instead, it acted like a catalyst, fully awakening the beast of hunger within him. He could even distinctly smell the strong heartbeat of the girl beneath her combat suit, and the brain that was rapidly functioning, emitting a lethal fragrance. Gulp! Qi Xiang uncontrollably swallowed, his eyes beginning to glow with an ominous red hue. Noticing his body stiffening and the movement of his throat, the short-haired girl suddenly turned her head, meeting his red eyes. Her pupils constricted sharply, and the knuckles of her fingers gripping the gun turned slightly white from exertion. In that tense moment, from the dark depths of the parking lot came a few sickening roars, mixed with heavy, dragging footsteps, rapidly approaching. "TSK, they're coming fast." The girl muttered a curse under her breath. The vigilance in her eyes disappeared, replaced by determination. She didn't have time to delve into Xiang's abnormalities, pulling him toward another exit. Damn! Xiang cursed inwardly, being dragged along by the girl as they stumbled through the dimness. His mind was a chaotic mess. Transmigration, zombies, systems, hunger. This information overload was nearly crashing him. The stench of decay from the zombies behind him made him nauseous, while the girl pulling him forward felt like a moving, tantalizing piece of fine wagyu, causing his mouth to water and his mind to spiral into madness. And oh, hold on. My soul is that of a well-behaved youth from the 21st century. How can I even think of sinking my teeth into a girl? That's inhumane. Xiang frantically built a mental barrier, gritting his teeth, trying to extract more information from this body. Fragmented images surfaced luxurious penthouse apartments, a stern middle-aged man, and this way. The girl's voice pulled him back from his chaos. She led Xiang into a narrow ventilation shaft, expertly illuminating the rusted tunnel ahead with her tactical flashlight. With a clang, she kicked the iron door shut behind them. The roars of zombies in the parking lot were instantly cut off, and the world seemed to fall silent. The girl released her grip, leaning against the cold wall, breathing heavily that a few strands of hair, damp with sweat, clung to her smooth forehead, and her chest rose and fell with each intense breath. She glanced at Xiang, who was still in a frozen state, her expression a mix of scrutiny and undeniable confusion. This guy. Typically, the transformation shouldn't take more than 6 hours. The girl shook her head, dismissing thoughts beyond her task. Her current goal was to get him back. She pulled out a silver metallic syringe from her tactical vest and smoothly tossed it to Xiang. Take this. Her voice was cold, devoid of any emotion. Modified calming agent 7. This is the last one, so use it sparingly. Don't force me to take action. Xiang instinctively caught it, the cold metallic feel sending a shiver down his spine, but he looked at the pale blue liquid in the syringe, and on the system panel that only he could see, his sanity level SN had dropped to 62,100. Detected external interference. Modified calming agent 7. Analyzing components. High concentration sedative, nerve suppressor, trace soul energy, stabilizing factor. Evaluation. Inferior substitute, significant side effects. Can temporarily restore 10 points of sanity, but will lead to more severe hunger backlash and irreversible nerve damage in 1 hour. Would you like to use it? What kind of cursed operation is this? Isn't this just drinking poison to quench thirst? It's the kind with added deadly ingredients. Looking at the system's evaluation, Xiang's mouth twitched involuntarily. Seeing him hesitate, staring blankly at the syringe, the girl raised an eyebrow. What are you standing there for? Waiting for me to find a nurse to give you a shot? Her tone carried a hint of dangerous teasing. Let me tell you, 57X, you can either come here yourself, or I can help you. Choose one. Xiang sighed and casually tucked the deadly syringe into the pocket of his hoodie. He looked up at the girl, forcing a smile that he thought was the most friendly and harmless. Miss, don't be so fierce. He blinked, trying to appear innocent. I just have a bit of phobia of needles. Really? How about we change the topic? Maybe talk about life or discuss dreams. The girl was momentarily taken aback by a sudden shift in tone and the unexpected address. She gazed intently into Xiang's eyes, trying to find even the slightest flaw in that smiling face. After a few seconds, she withdrew her scrutinizing gaze, but the muscles in her arm tightened instantly, and the gun's muzzle slightly lifted, pointing at Xiang's forehead. Shut up. The girl's voice was as cold as if it had just been taken out of a freezer. I'm not interested in your nonsense. 3. Her finger was already resting on the trigger. 2. Chapter 2. A newbie package swapped for teeth. 2. The cold countdown echoed like the footsteps of death in the narrow corridor. The cold gleam of the metal barrel reflected in Xiang's pupils. The girl opposite him, a Special Forces member, had her finger pressed against a trigger guard, her gaze sharp enough to slice through his chest, an extreme sense of hunger intertwined with the threat of death, pushing Xiang's brain into a strange hyperactive state. Going hard would lead to death. Communication had to be in a way she couldn't predict. He suddenly relaxed, as if he hadn't even seen the dark muzzle, and even raised both hands in an exaggerated surrender gesture. Okay, you're the boss. Xiang's tone unexpectedly lightened, as if discussing what to eat for dinner. But, big shot, before you go, can I make a small request? Just one, very humble. The girl narrowed her eyes. The cold countdown interrupted, causing her previously built-up momentum to waver slightly. Speak. Her voice remained short and powerful. A hint of embarrassment appeared on Qi Xiang's face, and he even felt a bit awkward, his gaze drifting slightly. Man is iron. Rice is steel. If you don't eat one meal, you'll feel anxious. He carefully chose his words. You see, my situation is special. Can I first have something to eat? Hot food is best, but if not, biscuits are fine. As he spoke, he forcibly shifted his attention away from the girl's head, which radiated a deadly fragrance, and began frantically refreshing images of spicy hot pot, crayfish, and grilled cold noodles in his mind. The girl looked at him, falling silent once more. The mutated zombies recorded in her training manual craved warm brain matter and fresh flesh, not a hot meal or biscuits. This request was too mundane, absurdly mundane. Is he messing with me? Or has the virus completely fried his logic? Just as alarms and confusion intertwined in her mind during those few seconds, a blue light screen quietly refreshed in front of Qi Xiang. Ding! Strong survival and expressive desires detected in the host. Triggering basic task. Icebreaking journey. Task objective. Obtain supplies from the Special Forces member in a non-violent manner. Task reward. Experience points 50, SAN recovery 20, unlock system mall beginner, newbie package X1. Unexpected gains? This task must be completed. Qi Xiang's eyes instantly lit up. Miss, let's negotiate. Qi Xiang adopted a tone of negotiation. Look, I'm cooperating so much. Can you show a little humanitarian care? I swear, once I'm full, it'll be absolutely honest time me if you want. Let me go if you want. I won't be a nuisance. He tried to blink his eyes, reddened from hunger, attempting to exude a bit of innocence. The words miss sent an electric shock through the girl's shoulders, causing them to tremble uncontrollably. She bit her back teeth, a flicker of offended anger flashing across her face. She pulled a palm-sized black hard block from her tactical pouch, not even looking, and tossed it over. Shut your mouth. Here, take this if you want. If you say one more word, they'll shove it in your mouth. Qi Xiang quickly caught the block, feeling its heavy and hard texture, like a brick. The system panel popped up with an identification report. High-energy combat ration chocolate flavor. Effect: supplement basic calories. System evaluation. Main ingredients are synthetic starch, protein, and a negligible amount of cocoa flavoring. Texture is akin to construction material, strongly advised against direct consumption. Wow. The official critique is the deadliest. Qi Xiang's mouth twitched. He glanced at the building material in his hand and felt the increasingly intense burning in his stomach. His SAN value had already dropped to 58. Can't worry about that anymore. He closed his eyes, embracing a sense of gallant sacrifice, and brought the black combat ration to his mouth, biting down hard. Crack! A crisp, tooth-aching breaking sound echoed clearly in the silent corridor. Qi Xiang's expression froze instantly. A sharp pain shot from his roots straight to the top of his head. He felt like his entire dental arch was protesting. The ration had only lost a few black powdery fragments. He awkwardly spat out all the crumbs filling his mouth, tears welling up in his eyes. Cough, cough. Big sister, are you trying to murder me and then inherit my what? He covered his jaw, mumbling incoherently. Is this something for Terminators to grind their teeth on? Do you special forces usually use this as a whetstone? The corner of the girl's mouth uncontrollably curved into a tiny arc, but she quickly suppressed it. She cleared her throat, tried to maintain her cold demeanor, but the slight shaking of her shoulders betrayed her. That's high-energy compressed rations, you idiot. You need at least 3 times the amount of water to eat it. Her voice carried a barely perceptible tremor. Do you think it's potato chips that you can just bite into? Congratulations, 57X. You're the first mutated being to lose a tooth on combat rations. Qi Xiang was stunned. Why didn't you say that earlier? Just as he began to question life and felt he was dying socially on the spot, the system notification chimed like a celestial melody in his mind. Ding! Congratulations, host, for successfully completing the ice-breaking journey task. Newbie package has been issued. Please check. Qi Xiang's expression changed from dazed to ecstatic at a visible speed that he immediately immersed himself in his consciousness, opening the system interface. A magnificent golden treasure chest opened in response, radiating brilliance. Contents of the newbie package. 1. Skill. I have Insight Beginner X1. 2. Item. Absolute Taste Experience Card, one-time X1. 3. Recovery item. System supplied nutrient solution X3. 4. Source points 100 SP. Worth it. This wave of losing face is a huge profit. My teeth don't even hurt anymore. He withdrew his consciousness from the system, and when he looked up, he met the girl's eyes filled with curiosity. She had clearly seen his expression of mixed emotions, completely out of control. "Hey, what was that expression of yours?" the girl asked tentatively, her finger instinctively returning to the trigger. One moment you're crying, the next you're laughing. The virus is messing with your mind, causing hallucinations. Chi Xiang cleared his throat twice, quickly suppressing the joy on his face and adopting a mysterious demeanor. "It's nothing, just an ancient and advanced method of facial muscle relaxation that is said to keep one forever young." As he spoke, he discreetly used his new skill on the girl. "You wouldn't understand if I told you this is part of our handsome guys competition." In an instant, several lines of light blue data appeared like ghosts above the girl's head, visible only to Chi Xiang. Name: Cheng Xiaoi. Identity: Crisis Management Bureau Special Operations Group 27 Action Team Member. Level: C. Combat Personnel. Status: Alert, fatigued, mildly malnourished. Emotion: 60 confused, 30 alert, 10 sympathetic. Sympathetic? It's actually true. And she's malnourished? TSK. How tragic. Chi Xiang looked at the last two pieces of information and felt a strange sensation in his heart. Have you really turned your brain into a mushy mess from that virus? The girl was so angered by his expression that she didn't know what to say, feeling her intelligence had been insulted. Handsome guys competition? I think you're the one who's lost your mind. After saying this, she seemed to exhaust all her energy and leaned tiredly against the wall, saying no more.